objectives that I will share with you. All right. Adopting different leadership styles, what that might entail, how you could possibly improve team members' performance levels, and how you could promote work productivity. Now, for each of these areas, right, there's a lot of things that one could talk about. But what I like to do is just like to highlight some of the popular learning lessons that some of my previous participants have shared, and perhaps this would give you an inkling, what to expect if you were to actually attend a typical one-day workshop. Now, if you're with me, can everyone give me a thumbs up? Or you can click on that link. At least I know you're with me. Thank you so much. I'm going to proceed, all right? Now, first things first, let's talk about the first objective. We're talking about different leadership styles. There are many types. I'm going to tell you that much. But for the moment, let me just tell you this. I'm sure most of y'all have experience already being a leader. Just by looking at this little quote over there, okay? As long as you've done that, you've got some limited experience. But having said that, let me move forward here. You as a manager or a leader. Now, I understand, granted, some of y'all may not have that kind of experience. It doesn't matter. We all have some kind of experience. It could actually typically take place even at home, even if it's not at the work, although this workshop is supposed to be for you to practice the skills at the workplace. So having said that, let's talk about this one here. All right, now everyone, I'm just gonna, I want all of you to look at this particular screen. There are just two types here. What is the difference between a leader and a manager? Now, I'm just going to go through the first part first. Everybody, please look at the word leader. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of a leader? Can you please go to your group chat? Just type your thoughts. So at least I know you're with me as well. Let's talk about that first, and then we talk about the differences, okay? So let me just have a look at some of the people who've typed. Okay, so leaders, most people just use the word lead now, from the word leader, right? Okay, vision, you take charge. So some people like Emmeline, Ding Hao, Claudine, I may not actually say that, all your names. So we have Edmar, being in charge, leading from the front, motivate, and so on. Thank you so much. And we pause there, all right? Now, let's look at the word manager. Then what do you think by the word manager then? So we look at manager now. So can you please go to the group chat? Okay, so again, some of you did the easy way out. You just took the word from the word manager. Okay, so we manage. Okay, so, and then we're talking about handling issues and so on. So I'd like to say thanks again to Sarah, Emmeline, and so on. Thank you. Now, you would notice, everyone, a lot of the pointers that you shared earlier on, they tend to overlap. Would you agree? You can just give me a gentle nod, or you can give me a thumbs up. Okay, so that's how I know you're with me. They tend to overlap. So if you actually look typically here, these are some of the main pointers on what a leader does and what a manager does. By the way, take note of all these points that I share with you, or better yet, do the easy way thing, do a screenshot, whatever that you share here, okay? So these are the fastest things that I can share with you. These are the major differences, but having said that, a lot of them tend to overlap because sometimes a leader has to manage. Would you agree? Manage by using some of the pointers over there. But having said that, sometimes managers also have to lead by example, as some of you all shared in the group chat. So what do we mean by that? But then having said that, there's also another thing that some people don't talk about. So you will see the question over here. So what does a boss do then? Okay, so, especially in the days of old, people tend to use the word, hey boss, how are you boss? Yes boss, no boss, and so on. So without further ado, okay, what I'd like you all to do though is this. I'm sure you're familiar with Mentimeter. Please take your mobile phones. You need your mobile phone for that. You do not have to download any app. All you need to do is just follow my instructions here. Go to www.menti.com. This is your code. Okay, once you get there, you will see a question over there. But importantly, you need to get that code first. Are you all with me so far? All right. So what does a boss do? All right, I'm going to stop share so that I can share the link. All right, so y'all can visually see this. So it's actually more like a word cloud. Let me just see where did I put it. Okay. Share screen. And there it is. So everyone, you will see this again. Let me just enlarge the screen over here. What does a boss do? Everyone, in case you missed out on the code, there it is. 809024. So whenever you're ready, can go ahead. There you are. So thank you. We've got already some people sharing here. What do you think a boss does? All right, so let's see. So once again, all right, if you look at some of the words down here, some of the things that you used earlier on when we were talking about the differences between a leader and a manager. So again, some of the keywords you have managing again. But then you have some of the keywords over here like control. Some actually wrote something else, do their work. Sometimes bosses do that, you're right. Okay. So you have instruct, leading the team. Boss only, what someone said, talk only. You know, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see here. So certain things, as you can see over there, they tend to overlap. Okay, come. So just put in your share your thoughts there. Okay, but what is common is this word management. Manage, lead, control, instruct, delegate, and so on and so forth. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. All right, I'm just going to give 5 seconds, you know, for any one of you who just want to just put in there. Actually, you have 3 opportunities for you to share. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's move on, all right? You can see that. Do a screenshot, at least you have an idea. But now the important thing, though, is this. What do they really do and what do you think are the major differences, right? Okay, let me just admit the 2 more fellas there. Okay, let's move on here. Everyone, this is your shortcut answer to some of the qualities of leadership. Believe it or not, even a boss's style is a type of leadership. But typically what a boss does is they drive people, they order perhaps, but authoritative by nature, all right? Now, question to ask all of you, looking at these 3 types of leadership styles, right? Which do you believe is the most ideal? Can you please type in the group chat? Or rather, what kind of boss would you like? What kind of manager or a leader? Now, these are all leadership styles. So let's have a look at that. Some of you all can share. So most share leader, and so on. Leader, all right. Okay, thank you. The rest of you, please don't be shy. Just type. At least you're in deep thought as well regarding this. Leader, again, or some said, James mentioned a mix of it. Okay. Lei Hun Chua mentions, yeah, it's a mix of it as well. Huh? No, whatever that you shared over there. Thank you so much. Now, guess what, everyone? Leadership styles, it depends on the situation. Are you with me so far? There are times, I'll tell you now, you have to manage them. Looking at some of the qualities that you see in the first column over there, which I'm sure you can read on your own real quick. Sometimes you do what a typical leader does, and sometimes you just have to be authoritative. Sometimes you just got to tell them, hey, look, this is how it's done, and so on and so forth. So there'll be frameworks, there'll be situational scenarios that I'll share with you so that you know somewhat which style that you should adopt. But having said that, being or adopting a different leadership style is one thing. However, let's talk about you as a person. What type of brand, you know, do you have for yourself? In fact, what kind of clout do you have? Now, by the way, have you ever heard of Aristotle? Aristotle, okay, I'm just stop sharing over there. Let me look at all your faces there. Let's see. Have you heard of Aristotle? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Okay, well, you have, okay. Now, ancient Greek philosopher. So this is just to remind you. Yeah, thank you so much, Claudia. Yeah, he's a Greek philosopher, ancient Greek philosopher. So now, I'm going to share with you very, very quickly. So this is something perhaps you can actually think on your own. Now, I'm going to go to my whiteboard there. I'm going to just share with you the keywords. So you can do this on your own. The keywords are the 3 Greeks. This is by Aristotle. Take note. Okay, just take note. Okay. Now, this is what he said. So I'm only quoting the man. This was, of course, done in the old days. Now, there's only 3 areas to look out for. Just pay attention to that. Just 3 areas. Okay. You have ethos. Okay, now I'm just going to put down there. This is a Greek word. So now you know why it's called 3 Greeks. Anyone can guess what is ethos in English? Anyone? Ethos in English. Now, some of you can actually just vocally tell me because that's your preference. Remember when you did the poll, or you can type in a good chat. Anybody can guess what is ethos in English?
Ethics.
Thank you very much. You're right. Ethics is actually your personal credibility. So what's your personal credibility in the workplace? Let's keep that relevant. What might that be? Let me keep it simple so you have this thought there in your mind. You know, when you exchange your business card, you know, with people, right? What do you look at, by the way? Type in the group chat, what do you look at? Typically. Okay, let's see. We have one person there who chat on there. Yeah, well, you look at the person's name. Besides that, what do you look at? Yeah, the title, yeah, the qualification, and so on, right? So you notice, right? Thank you so much for those of you who put it over there. You would look, well, obviously look at a person's title. Oh, this fella, CEO, CFO, some C-suite level type. And then you look at all the academic qualifications, certifications, your work experience, everyone. That is your personal ethos. And that's what I'm going to say. All right, next. Okay. We have another one called pathos. So what is pathos in English? Anyone? Just vocally, just say it out. I can type it out. Now this one, it doesn't start with the letter E. It starts with the letter I mean, it didn't follow the same letter. That's what I meant. Anybody can guess what is pathos in English? Say it out. Someone, just turn on. There you are. Someone has typed there, so I got to manage that part here. Yeah, very
Empathy.
good. Someone mentioned the word empathy.
Empathy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Huh? Yeah, empathy. So do you understand where that person is coming from? I believe that is self-explanatory. Now, the last Greek is logos. It starts with the same letter L. So what is logos? All right, so let's see what if some of y'all have shared. Yeah, you're right, logic. So some of you all know this is a very popular framework, okay? So logic. Now, I'm going to assume that all of you are the content expert. You're good at what you do. You have this information on hand. You're the go-to person if I need any information. So quick question to ask all of you. Looking at these three Greeks, which of the three do you believe is your personal strength? Can you please type that in the group chat? No right or wrong. This is just all about you. Your personal strength. Everybody, please do this. Thank you. So, you know, some say logic, empathy, ethics. It doesn't matter whether you want to use the Greek or the English word. Thank you. Come. Everybody, you have 5 seconds. Quickly, just look at these three. Which of the three is your personal strength? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, the rest of y'all did not type. What does that mean? Who cares, boy? As long as I get my salary at the end of the month. Is it or something like that? Now, according, so I'm just going to get to it. According to Aristotle, okay, we need to have an equilibrium of all three. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Let me just do this real quick for you. You know, you have some people, they got, you know, high ethos, high logos, for example, but they lack communication skills. Now tell me, can you receive the communication well from that person? Yes or no? It's compromised, right? Okay, now, some people got high ethos, high pathos, but they might lack the know-how. Can you receive the information well? And likewise, you know, some people might have high pathos, high logos, but they might lack, you know, this ethos part. You know, this is very common. You will hear some people, they might tell you things like, oh, it sounds interesting, but could you please put me through your immediate supervisor? You know, something along those lines. Does it sound familiar, everyone? Okay, so now, let me look at everyone here, okay? The point I want to say, though, is this. We need to work on all three to have some kind of personal brand. That's all I'm going to tell you that much. However, let me be realistic. It's a work in progress. It takes some time. Okay, but what we can do is we can do something very simple right now. At least you have an idea how you can work on your brand. But before that, quick question. Do you believe that your personal brand is important for you? Yes or no? You can just type that in. It is important, you know. So some of y'all have responded. Thank you very much. The rest of y'all, I'm not too sure what's going on. Okay, but let me move forward. Okay, absolutely right. And because brand is so important, let me just digress. Ask you a couple of questions, right? First question. Now, if I were to say this, right? Massage chair. All right, what brand goes to your mind? So some of y'all type there. I can see Osim, Osim, Osim. Now, you know there's so many other brands, right? Okay, now let me just go to one more. Now, a couple more rather. Now, if I were to say sports shoe, okay, what brand goes to your mind? All right, there you are. Most of you are Nike. Some people say Adidas. We normally get that. Now, let me tell you, do you know how, ask you this rather, do you know how much it costs to manufacture a pair of Nike shoes? If you know that, how much it costs to manufacture a pair of Nike shoes, US $20, hardly anything is US $2. That much I can tell you. Okay, let's go to another one here. Okay, if I were to say a soft drink, So what brand? Okay, let me look at that one now. Let me just see. Most people put Coke. Yeah, some say Pepsi. Anyway, the direct competitor we know is Pepsi, isn't it? By the way, have you heard of the Pepsi challenge? Who has? If you heard of it, give me a thumbs up. Michelle has said yes, and so on, and some of you all said that. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the Pepsi challenge. More than 20 years ago, let me just tell you a quick one. Pepsi wanted to prove to the world that it tastes better than Coke. I'll tell you that much. Now, Singapore participating in this as well. But we Singaporeans, sometimes we like to line up for things we're not too sure what we're lining up for. Okay, so I was one of those many years ago at Plaza Singapore. Okay, now, this is what happened. There was a big cardboard, I remember, 2 cups. Now, obviously, you don't know what you're drinking. But according to Pepsi's statistics, okay, of course, they had 1 Pepsi, 1 Coke. I've got to mention that. According to Pepsi's statistics, everyone chose Pepsi as the better drink. But according to Coke, sales were better in comparison to Pepsi. So why am I sharing this with you? Because of the power of branding. Okay, let's just do 2 more, okay? Now, if I were to say a luxury handbag for a woman, what brand? There you are, all the brands up there, as you can see in the chat. Everybody look at your group there. Thank you so much. Quite a number there. How about this one here? A sophisticated classic watch for a gentleman. Okay, what brand? Okay, there you are. I had the other day I had a participant who put Casio there. Like, I had to really ignore that. But anyway, now let's move on. Okay. Now I want to share something with you which is really interesting. Okay, have a look at that. This is already prepared by my PowerPoint slide. Have a look at that. I think majority, this is the first time I'm meeting you. Most of the time when I throw questions out there, most of my friends or participants, they will share this, the power of brand. Now let me just get to the issue at hand now. What is your brand? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Keep it simple, at least you have an inkling how you can work on it now. Remember earlier on when I asked you this question, out of the 3 Greeks, which is your personal strength? You remember that? And some of y'all shared ethos or ethics. Some shared pathos or empathy. Some of y'all shared logos or logic. I just want you to think of that, so that's the easiest thing, all right? This is what's going to happen. I'm going to show you an example how to do a work in progress for yourself, all right? For instance, this is the brand that I would like to develop. So you can see my cursor moving there, all right? Caring and compassionate. By the way, the word caring and compassionate, does it come under the umbrella of ethos, pathos, or logos? What do you think? Caring and compassionate probably will come under. Come, you just type it. Let me have a look at that. So let's see. Some very good. Sally, Michelle shared empathy or pathos. Yes, it comes under that. So I'm just giving an example, all right? Let's assume I might want to work on pathos or empathy. For instance, this is what I would like to be known for, okay? Outward behavior. Now, of course, this is your action plan. What are you going to do? So this is what you say, what you do. For instance, I'm going to do the following, being a good listener, I want to be fair, and so on. The next part is your attitude and your approach, which typically means what your intention is. So do you have a genuine interest in people? Do you have a genuine interest in really wanting to help people? Okay, this is your intention, okay? So that's it. It's a real simple thing. So what I'd like you to do is this, okay? Let me just divide the whole group. I'm just going to give just 3 minutes, okay? You're going to have an opportunity to share with your friends. Just do an informal sharing with your friends. Actually, what would you like to develop for yourself? But first of all, ask yourself this question before you share with your friends. Is it ethos, pathos, or logos? Okay, this is what I'll probably do. This is what my outward behavior might be. This could be my intention. That's it. Okay, now, before I break you out into rooms, what is important is this. Can you please do a screenshot of what you see here? At least you have a sample. Because I don't want you to get stuck when the time comes. Or use your phone and take a picture. Okay, now, if you have done that, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Most of you all have already done that. Please do that. Just take a picture. Okay. Now, someone, I'm looking at the group chat. Can you give, for example, examples of ethos, ethics? Now, it could be, for example, a quality. It could be maybe a qualification that you might want for yourself. So have you like continuing learning and development, for instance, right? Okay, I like to pursue perhaps a diploma, or a degree or an MBA. So when you tell people, especially MBA is a common thing, you tell people I'm currently pursuing an MBA or I have an MBA, automatically you have some kind of clout. But what is your intention for doing that? So that's just an example. I hope I've answered that question. Now, ethos could also mean things like honesty. It could also mean integrity. So that could also come under that. Okay, so but the important thing is when you do this exercise, just look at this word brand. What do you think you would say and do? And of course, what is your intention? So just have a very informal thing. Okay, so I'm going to look at everyone now. Okay, when you get into your breakout rooms, for their sakes, please turn on your video. Okay, because it's awkward to communicate, especially when you can't see each other. Now, if you are ready, give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, for those of you who may not be new to this, just follow the instructions. Follow exactly what you see, and it shouldn't take long. It's only 3 minutes. Okay. So everyone, I'm just going to divide the whole group. Let me see. I'll have more groups. Say 3. Okay. All right. There's going to be 17 rooms. I'm just at random. I'm going to create that. But before that, let me just only put 3 minutes now. Are you all ready? Just click on join. Okay, starting right now. Okay, I think most of y'all should be, returning. So let's see. All right, everyone. I hope everyone is okay. If you're good, I hope it was just a good sharing session and also an opportunity for you to, just to get to know new people. Just give me a thumbs up. Once you're back here, most of you already have returned. Give me a thumbs up once it's all good. Now, what I'd like you to do though is this, okay? I want you to go to the chat group, all right? I want you to type, what brand do you want to develop for yourself? It could be, and put it in bracket. Is that ethos, pathos, or logo? So for example, caring, bracket, pathos, or empathy. All right, so can you please let out? So we're not asking for any elaboration. It's just for you to identify the brand that you want to develop for yourself. All right, so everybody, can you please go to the chat? Now, of course, some of you all participated or some of you all didn't join, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. So for those of you all who did, okay, some of y'all put, okay, you put ethos or pathos, but again, this is a question you need to ask yourself, what about pathos did you want to develop? Pathos is a broad word. It's just that we're just dividing it to these three areas, But someone mentioned, oh, I want to be a motivator. Okay, so we're talking motivating skills. Now, and you mentioned ethos. That could come under, it could be a cross between ethos or pathos. This is by Jessica. Thanks for doing that. Okay, Sally shared, as you can see, problem solving. So do you think that could be ethos or pathos or logos? So this is a question you have to ask yourself. Okay, now the important thing though is this, is for you to familiarize yourself with a very powerful framework developed by Aristotle. All you need to do is, as mentioned, go online, just type 3 Greeks by Aristotle. A lot of information down there, and that is something that we normally start off when we talk about branding for yourself, especially when you want to communicate dealing with people. Okay, now if you're with me, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, now I understand there was limited time. You're right, 3 minutes only, right? So James was sharing, you're right. So for some of y'all, you were able to, but it is important thing is you were able to identify it for yourself. That's the most important thing. Okay, so having said that, let's move forward. Okay, so now that we've done that, okay, that's the first objective. Okay, leadership styles and so on. But so a couple of leadership styles that will be shared, and of course personal branding that needs to be developed for yourself. The second objective is, how are you able to improve the performance levels of your team members? Because whether you are adopting a leadership style, whatever that might be, ultimately you are there to serve them. Okay, so many things we will talk about that, but let's keep it simple. All right, I want you to have a look at it. This is very powerful. I want to, please, right now, a great nugget, take a picture of this. At the workplace, especially if you are managing people or you have people under you, you've got subordinates under you, you have to offer assistance to them. You could either coach them, you could counsel them, you could mentor them. Makes sense, right, everyone? Right now, my question for all of y'all is this. One, what is the similarity between the 3 approaches? Can you please go to your group chat? Now, I know you've heard of these words. And we don't need a thesaurus for this, okay? I just need to know, what you think is the similarity between those 3 approaches? Just go to the group chat and type. What do you think? So let's see. Similarity is the keyword here. So some of y'all have shared. Let me see. I got it down there. So you have putting yourself in another person's shoes, imparting your skills, empathy, personal touch. It's a touch and go. You're not very specific. Not very specific. Huh? Then maybe let me ask you this question then, all right? You know, ultimately, you're looking at these 3 words, whether I'm coaching, counseling, or mentoring another person, you're technically helping that person. Am I right to say that? Just give me a nod or a thumbs up if you're with me. Yeah, there you are. You are helping that team member, whoever, okay? Now, the only thing is this. When we talk about coaching, What do we mean by that? Everyone, can you just go to the group chat? What do we mean by coaching? So someone mentioned training, guiding, to nurture, develop skills. Okay, thank you, we'll stop there. Then what is your understanding by the word counseling? And what is counseling then? Now, I might have missed a few there, but someone mentioned listening, giving advice, correct, wrong attitude, giving advice again, listening, advice. Okay, then what is the meaning of, what do you mean by mentoring then? Guide. So you notice, right? A lot of these words tend to overlap once again. I'm guiding, I'm helping. But you see, these are just approaches. Now, sometimes one of the common mistakes managers and leaders and above, when you really genuinely, they come from a good place. They want to help their peer, but unfortunately, they may be using an inappropriate approach. So let me keep it simple. Now, remember, gentle reminder, the second objective is you want to help them. Ultimately, it's about their performance level. Ultimately, because I mean, that's why we are working for someone, isn't it? And so on. So I could use any of these approaches. The question is which approach is timely. Okay? So everyone, let's keep it simple. Now, the key word is this. This is performance level. I hope you're taking note of this. This is easy stuff. Now, one thing I'll share with you something. People who are from the academic line, you know, teachers and lecturers, unfortunately, when they teach certain concepts, right, they tend to complicate the whole thing. Something that is so simple, they complicate it. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing for you. I'm taking something that could appear to be complicated, but I'm simplifying this for you. So, keyword, look at the performance level. You ask them, this is where this person is now. Okay, fair enough. This is where you want this particular person to be. Are you all with me so far? Now, obviously, there is a gap. Make sense so far? There's a gap between the two. Okay, so now this is performance level. Now, the thing though is this, to narrow this gap, I could use any of these three ways to help them. Now, the question is, which do I use? So the keyword again is this. Look at their performance levels. Now, how do you know if they are performing according to an acceptable level, as mandated by the establishment? So how would you know? Everyone, we always look at it's these three letters. What is that? Can you type it in the group chat? So someone has typed that very, very quickly. So there you are. You always look at the KPI. Performance appraisal is developed, or it's done up when we look at the KPI. Thank you very much, Sophia, Caroline, Michelle, and so on. Thank you so much. So that is your KPI for that person. So you look at that. So having said that, you have your KPI at hand. You have the performance level of that person. Now, if that person, so this is an easy thing for you to take note of. If this person is performing at expectation, right? Don't think too much. Coach them. They can get the job done. Does it sound familiar? Does it make sense, by the way? You know, that's why you heard of things like basketball coaches and so on and so forth, right? You can do it. I'm just there to give you this added support, for example. So the approach that I will use is coaching. So there is, of course, templates on how you would coach someone, depending, of course, on which leadership style that you adopted previously when we talked about it. Now, of course, if this person is performing above expectation, mentor them. You remind me of myself, 20 years ago. Let me share something additional, I'll be your master sifu, for example. Now, of course, if this person is performing below expectation, obviously, this person has got certain issues. I might have to counsel them. Okay, now let me just use something simple for everyone, okay? Let me tell you something, okay? One of the most recession-proof jobs out there in Singapore. What do you think of the recession-proof jobs? And parents need that for their children. Now, of course, it's a broad question. Let me just see what you've done. Yeah, you're right. Medical and so on, tutoring. So I was talking about that. Now, let's talk about that. Do you really think, I'm going to stop share, I'm going to look at everyone now. Do you really think all children need tuition? They probably don't, right? But for whatever reason, this could be our culture, I don't know, I don't get to all that now. No, my child has got to go for this, has got to go for that, and so on and so forth. So again, just look at the performance level of your child. I'm going to use that as an analogy. If you believe this person is performing below expectation, perhaps an approach is counseling, perhaps a solution could be, I think you need one-on-one private tutoring, perhaps. You need help. You obviously can't catch up, perhaps, in school. Now, if this child is performing at expectation, I mean, he's passing, he's doing reasonably quite all right. Do you honestly think this person needs tuition? What do you think the person is going to do? You're going to waste, what, $100, $200 a month? I look at you, look at me. So maybe what I could do is, you're doing quite all right. I don't think you need tuition. I'll just get some couple of assessment books for you, for instance. Now, if this person is performing above expectation, tuition is the last thing you do for that person. Maybe, have you heard of like additional classes? Have you heard of things like mind champs? Those kind of things are good for them actually, because they actually teach additional things. I'm just giving, and of course someone mentioned LL, coaching. Oh yeah, perhaps, it depends. It all really depends. Maybe something additional. Because why don't you learn abacus? This fellow is bored already. Maybe he wants to learn something new. The point I want to say though is this. The key word is, so let's go back here again. And I hope you've taken note of this though, everyone. Look at the performance level of that person and then adopt an appropriate approach so that ultimately you're able to help that person's performance level. Okay, next. Now, how can we help? And the final objective is, how could we help promote work productivity? Now, there's a lot of things we can talk about, but one of the things that I'm going to share with all of y'all is motivation. Okay, now, everyone, I want you to look at these words here. All right. Now, I will cover, the usual Maslow's hierarchy of needs and so on. But for the moment, let me share something that is simple. Now, take note of this. This is 5 words here. Now, I'm sure some of you all, when you take a Grab or when you take a taxi, when you're on the road, do some of you all have conversations with the drivers? Yeah, yes, it depends, right? It depends on the mood as well. Now, has any driver ever shared with you that the reason why they're motivated to drive the Grab or the taxi or whatnot is because of love? Anybody ever told it because of love? Now, don't use that word literally. It could be because for their family, isn't it? I don't want my wife to work, for instance, so I want to be the breadwinner. I'll take care of everything, for instance. Has any driver ever told you because of freedom? It's easy for them to move around. Some of them, I've met Grab drivers especially, right? They have full-time jobs. Most of them happen to be in sales though. It's just easy for them to move around. So, make an extra buck and then they'll just go around and so on. Anyone ever told you because of power? I've met some drivers who shared with me, they did the mathematics. This is cheaper than getting a car. So, okay, I don't know, but that's according to them. Anyone ever told you because of survival? Especially now, I think that's a lot. Would you agree? So I can see some of you all sharing there. What about fun? Anyone told you because of fun? Hey, we don't know. Everybody's got a different life story, isn't it? Some of them will, especially the taxi drivers, I don't know, old grandfathers and so on, they'll tell you, I'm bored and pick up my grandchild from the kindergarten and I'll go to the coffee shop, spend some time with my friends. Now, the point is this. What is similar is the outcome. They're driving a Grab or the taxi. All of us, we have got to go to work. That is something similar for all of us. But what motivates us to do it is different. Now, I stop share here. Are you with me so far? The motivation is different. You are, just give me a thumbs up. At least I know you're with me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all right? So now what we're going to do is this. I'll give a reasonable time, but not too long, 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. I'll pay attention, okay, to who's in the breakout room. Some of you are alone. I'll push you to another room. It's a very simple thing I would like you all to do. So at least you have a feel. This is one of the final things that I want to share with you today. Everyone, I want you to have a look at this, okay? First of all, it's important that you take note of these 5 words. Have you done that? Give me a thumbs up if you've done that. Okay. Now, this is the instruction. Thank you so much. This is the instruction for the next activity, which I'll break you all up, okay? What drives you? What is your motivation to do the things that you do? Now, I've got questions there for you, all right? Please take a picture or do a screenshot or quickly write down the questions. I understand I saw in the group chat some of you all have got some technical issues. So I'll just leave it there for a while. So all you need to do is this. When you meet your new friend, or you could be the same person, it doesn't matter, okay? Just ask that person, or you can just share, just share or just ask each other these questions. What is your number one priority? So what I'll do is this, I'm going to give you an example. I'll answer the questions. What is my number one priority? I'll tell you is my family, especially my children. I have two children. Love of my life, one of them is 22 years old, and the other one is only a 3-year-old toddler. This is a 19 years gap between them. So of course, my little girl is really my princess at home. So how will what you're doing now help me achieve that? Now, I want to spend as much time as I can with my family. That is why when people always ask me, hey, Carol, what do you do for a living? This is my answer to them. I mind my own business. And the reason why I do that, I can't stand the fact anyone controlling my money, telling me what to do, controlling my time, when I should take a leave and so on and so forth. And if people control me, I'll feel like a bird trapped in a cage. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now, based on my little sharing with all of you, right? That's all I did. I could tell more, but I want to stop there, right? What motivates me today? Which of the 2 out of the 5 motivates me? So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Jessica and Claudine. No, did I get it right? Sorry. Yeah, Jessica, Caroline and Claudine. Jenny. Sarah, you got the first part there. It's love and freedom. Okay? Today. You know what I mean? But if you ask me these questions, right? 10 years ago, it will be different. Well, I suppose when I first started working, oh my goodness, power maybe. Corporate hungry, I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. Got a family, and then maybe survival, I got to pay bills. So the point is, depends on what is important for you at this point in time. So the point is this, everyone. Okay? I've stopped there. What is important is, did you get those questions, by the way? Did you get those questions there? It's important that you get that questions now. All right? All right, so this is what's going to happen. I have a little bit of time, okay? I'm going to group you all up. Just talk it out. As I'm telling you now, give yourself 10 seconds. You will know which of the 5 motivates you. Now, out of the 5, it will be 1 minimum, of course. Maximum 2. It can't be all 5. You go crazy, okay? All right, everyone, are we ready? Have fun, okay? Now, I'm going to break up to the rooms. Of course, it's good if you can participate, okay? But I'll pay attention to that. 5 minutes, don't talk too much. You probably don't need to share too much. I tell you what, I'm going to use the same groups, okay? So having said all that, the only difference is I'm going to do 5 minutes and we are good to go. Now, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. There you go. Ask your friend the questions, get them to answer to find out what motivates them today. Okay, go for it. Okay. You can see all the people streaming in now. Go to the chat, type which of the 5 core values or motivations that is something that you can resonate with. You can put 2, it's good. Most people have 2 usually, yeah? But minimum 1 at least. Okay, there you have it. Yes, thank you. For those people who are just streaming in to the room, please go to the chat, okay, and type what motivates you now. Go to the chat, you can see it there. Choose which of the 5. Now, just give a couple of seconds for some of them to streaming in. So, not too bad, right? So you don't even have to give a long story. And I know, I mean, you're strangers for each other, for most of us here, okay? But you shared a little bit, you could tell. See, imagine you having the luxury of time. Well, of course, Caroline, we didn't have enough time, of course, but the point is, given the luxury of time at the workplace, oh, you've got, questions that you will ask because you also work with them, you interact with them. This is one, I'm not saying the only thing that I will share, one of the fastest methods you can actually use to find out generally what motivates that person at that point in time. Are you all with me so far? Now, if it is survival, money, dollars and cents is something that's important. Some people tell you love, that extra time, for example, is a solution that you might want to offer someone. I don't need the money, I want extra time because I'm overworked, for example. So this is one of the things you can do. And of course, we do this informal framework and then we compare it with something that is formal. For example, organizational theories, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for instance, that's something that we will share. So the point being is this, okay, to summarize all of this, everyone. This workshop pretty much entails this: understanding, identifying, exploring the many leadership styles that you have to adopt according to the situation. That's why there's a saying, it depends on the situation. Not one style is better than the other and so on. Okay, using this, you need to help your team member, your subordinates, the group or team that you're managing, because ultimately it's all about the performance level. This is the ultimate goal, for the company. And of course, at the end of the day, we want to enhance some kind of productivity, at the workplace as well. All right, everyone. So, I'm pretty much done with my part. However, okay, let me see. Something else I want to share though. If you are interested, in finding out more, one day is generally, it does suffice. So let me just share this with you. This is on behalf of Aventis. So I'm sure you can see this, yes, okay. So I'll skip that part, okay. There's one coming up next week already, okay. Of course, this is going to be done online for obvious reasons. This is due to measures mandated. Okay, so it's going to be from 9 to 5. Everything is self-explanatory. If you're interested, in attending this webinar, please do get in touch with my associate. And Rina is my woman, at Aventis. So get in touch. All the information is over there. Okay, so thank you so much for attending this. But before you leave, are there any questions that you'd like to ask? It's a good time for you to either ask me. You can just ask me vocally, or you can put it on the group chat. You can do a private number. So do take note of this, or at least the person who got in touch with you. So let's see. All right, mentorship. I'm going to answer generally as well because it's a general thing. Now, mentorship is an approach that I will share, but we won't go through. The reason is because that's a different ballgame altogether. Because how you mentor someone, there's a lot of steps, and it cannot be covered in a day. It has to be at least 2 days. How do you actually adopt mentoring skills? But it's for you to know that you adopt it according to the performance level. And then that's the approach. But what you do is a different thing. Next question, as you can see here, can you touch on logos, logic as a brand? Now, logos, well, logic is something to do with your personal credibility. For example, like I mentioned, work experience. It could be your personal values, your personal ethics, the morals and values that you actually uphold. Let me give a very good example for this, because Anahita asked this question, right? In every family unit, there's always one person everybody looks up to. You know what I'm trying to say, right? But then again, there's always that one person who's a troublemaker. You know what I mean? Likes to borrow money or something, right? Okay. That person whom you look up to, typically in the Asian context, generally, is the matriarch. Generally, you know, I'm trying to see. So that person knows how to hold that family together. Now, you ask yourself this question: why does this person in your family have this? Of course, obviously, this person has an equilibrium of all three: ethos, pathos, and logos. Now, you ask yourself, what ethos, what values or qualities does this person have? All right. How do you earn respect of a new team? By respecting them first. Ping. You know what I mean? So respect is always earned. You know. Okay, let me just check. Caroline asked, how do you work with a stubborn subordinate who refuses to listen and learn? I think the important thing is to find out what is the concern. You know, by the way, are we all stubborn sometimes? Yes, I am. You know what I mean? But if the person knows how to talk to me nicely and ask me what's my underlying need or my concern. So now we're here to find out. So you have to practice empathy for this one. What is the concern? And again, I'm just answering generally. But to be fair, this person may not want to, for example, adopt a new technology. Am I right to say that? Why? If you ask them a question, really, and if you know how to ask the right questions, most of them will tell you they're frightened. You know what I mean? Like, you know, especially when circuit breaker started, my goodness, everybody was frightened to use Zoom, right? Hey, what to click? Now you're an expert, you're doing all this kind of thing, you're clicking all kinds of reaction button, you're going to the chat. Same thing like that, okay? How do you tackle a staff that bypass you? Speak to this person. You know what I mean? Or speak to the person privately, obviously. You know what I mean? Explain to them, I suppose, your protocol. You know what I mean? Protocol is one, and perhaps what it means to you, you know, when this person actually bypass you instead of, and going to someone else instead of you first. You know, because you are the first person in the channel that could help. Speak to that person, but don't suffer in silence. What if your son has depression, financial, family issues? Now, this person, now you cannot solve that person's issue, right? This is by Sarah. Okay, like example, financial. Okay. Now, first of all, can you help this person financially? But you could direct the person to someone who's got financial expertise, right? Financial expertise. So that's maybe what you could do to offer some kind of assistance, but you're not there to solve their problem because you are not the expert. For example, okay, how to coach someone who has about the same experience as you. Motivate each other. Hey, well done, bro. You got the same experience as you. What's the issue? You know what I mean? This now, Zaril Shade staff that bypass always have a personal agenda. You know, there is a saying. You know, have you heard of Stephen Covey? He came up with this rule called the 90-10 rule. Have you heard of that? Take note. It's called the 90:10 rule. This is what Stephen Covey said. By the way, Stephen Covey was a renowned author of this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is what he said. There are 10% of things that happen to you in your life that is really beyond your control. Like this cartoon here, like stubborn. You know, I'm trying to say now, got this kind of personal agenda, whatever, right? But you do know you have the remaining 90% in your power to do what you can. Maybe I can't solve it. What can you do within your power to manage this person or to manage the situation, for example? But does it work all the time? Not really. So you have to go with the flow, okay? How do you coach, counsel your small is happy to just cruise along but isn't hitting KPIs? This is the part where sometimes you have to be assertive with this person. You have to use consequence. You know, if this is not established, for example, this is going to happen. So you adopt different assertive levels. So this is just a communication thing. Eh? Well, you know, thank you, Tracy, for your kind words. Jenny Shade, I'm a newly promoted manager. Someone is now my subordinate, and we have the same experience. You got to track this carefully because obviously this person is going to be upset. You know what I mean? A bit upset. But again, it's not what you say as a new manager, it's how you communicate to this person. Pay attention to your tone. Okay, there you go. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Do you have any other questions there? Emmeline, I conduct quite a number of courses. Do get in touch with my associates at Aventis. They'll tell you, I do a lot of writing programs. Offhand, I do SOP writing, technical reports, business writing, all forms of business writing. How do you handle difficult people? I like this cartoon here, stubborn people, you know what I mean? But that's a different topic, emotional intelligence. But I'm sure my associate will tell you more. Thank you, Cindy, you're welcome. All right, thanks everyone. I think everybody is now saying goodbye. Appreciate it. Someone wanted Sally. Sally, you get in touch with me. You know how to get in touch with me. Okay? All right, I'll help you out there. All right, as for the rest of y'all, can you turn on your audio and your video? Say bye-bye, everyone. Come on, don't be shy. Do that.
Okay. Thanks, Carolyn. That was really good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Right here. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a day.
Bye. Thank you.
Week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. You can leave now. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Caroline.
All
Thank
right
you.
then. Bye-bye.
Bye.